Namaste friends, welcome to narasLifeLog. Today, I'm here to present one of the most expensive and toughest thing in Sweden, the driver's license, in Swedish, Körkort. Budget and the toughness may vary person to person, but still it's considered to be one of the most expensive one when we compare other driver's license around the world. With this video, I will be explaining about the must-do steps to get the driving license and also some tips and my experience. I got my driving license after 6 failed attempts. So I will share my experience how I get the success after 6 failed attempts in my driver's license. Let's start with the must-do steps. First, the learner's permit, eye test, risk planning or risk 1 and risk 2. Then driving practice, private training lessons, the theory or knowledge test, then the final step, the practical test. We will go through each and everything in a bit detail.
Also, there will be necessary links in the description. Please check them out.
Before we deep dive into each steps, I just want to let you know that we definitely going to need help from traffic school. But you can also do several of these steps by yourself. Then you can get help from the traffic school or whatever you needed. Also, many traffic schools they provide a package service. If you go to any traffic school for support, they will guide you how to proceed with each and every step. I did some of them by myself and some of them with the traffic school. The learner's permit. This one you need to get it from Transportstyrelsen or Swedish Transport Agency. In this step, you need to fill out a health information. The link for this learner's permit is given in the description. Please check it out. And you can log in with any e-identification like mobile bank ID or some other way. That's the first part. As soon as you fill out this health information, then you can print it out. If you have a digital inbox, you will get the permit into your inbox. The second one is eye test. You can go to any eye clinic like Specsavers or anything anywhere else. You just mention them you need to get the eye test for this driving license and they will take your eye test. Then they will upload to Swedish Transportation Agency. It may cost around 100 to 200 crowns according to which eye clinic you go. This step is very simple. You just need to visit an eye clinic and they will take the test and they will upload the certificate to Swedish Transportation Agency. You don't need to worry about that. Next step is risk planning. That is risk 1 and risk 2. This is also again a lesson. It's not an actual test, it's a lesson. In this there are 2 parts as I said. In the part 1 you will be listening to a 2 hours of video. It mostly talk about the drunken driving, the influence of alcohol, tiredness or drug while driving. And you need to book this with a traffic school. It will be in Swedish or English or whatever language you like. So you need to find the slot which speaks your language. Then go and watch 2 hours of video streaming. This will be a good lesson. It's very important. Carefully listen and watch the video. It may cost you around 500 to 600. That's again where and what time slot you choose. And the second part of risk planning is risk 2 or skid training in Swedish Hakbana. At this stage, it's not a test, it's a training. This is to test your ability in extreme road conditions such as icy roads. In this, you will be initially listening some video about how the ABS brakes and seat belt, safety, all those aspects. Then you will be riding a car in a closed stadium or a track kind of environment with different road conditions. So here you will be learned about the stopping distance with or without ABS brakes and also a bit of slippery or icy road conditions. This is going to be a really fun experience and also a lesson. You don't know what happens when you sudden brake, and mostly we are there to try it out in the practical situation outside other than an accident or some critical moment. But here in a stadium, you will be driving and you are asked to put the full brake and see, maybe sometime your car will rotate, but you are in a safe environment, creating an extreme condition. So this will be a fun and a good lesson for everyone to try it out. For this training, it is good to have some hands-on experience with the driving before going to Risk 2. If you are a new driver, just practice some more lesson with a traffic school. Or if you already know how to drive and if you never experienced left and right, still I recommend go for some lessons before Risk 2. That will give you more confidence and that will add up more knowledge to you. Practice make everything perfect. So our next step is driving practice. This is one must do step. Even though you are a very experienced driver and have good confidence, still I recommend at least to take some lessons from traffic school or a private person. That will give you a different perspective of driving. First thing to note, if you are going to any traffic school to get lessons, don't think about how many lessons you are taking. It's mostly how long you drive. That's best. I mean the hours. Some traffic schools say like we gave it's expensive, and some traffic schools say one lesson costs 600, one say lesson costs 1,200, one say 1,500, 800, different prices. But check it out how much time they drive or how much time they mean for one lesson. So one lesson means it could be 30 minutes, it could be 40 minutes, it could be 50 minutes or 1 hour and 10 minutes. So always good to get at least 40 to 50 minute lessons. So check it out with a different traffic school, what package they have, how long is their session and what suits to you. That's very important step to check. Then private lessons. You can always drive with the private people, but there is certain conditions. For you to get eligibility to drive with a private person or private person to drive with you, then you need to take introduction training. I mentioned this before as the must do step. That means if you are going to take a private lessons, you must attend a introduction training that's given by the Trafikverket. So you should go to any traffic school and there you will listen what are the precautions and what are the information you need to know to drive with a private person than an instructor from a traffic school. Both you and the private person should attend this. So there are private people who registered and they just ask you to attend this lesson and take your personal number and everything is good to go. So back to driving practice. Before you going to attend the knowledge test, is always recommended to take some practical driving lessons so that you know around the rule and how to apply them. And many things by the book we can read and by heart, but when you practice it out on the road, it will add much value to you. We will discuss more about the driving practice in the coming 2 steps as well. So just start with the next step, theory or knowledge test. There are many websites or apps that provide theory questions to practice like a Körkort online or Trafikverket.se. Many other applications and websites providing a lot of theory preparations. If you are going to traffic school, they may give you the book. You need to buy the book from them. Instead, I went to a library. I took the latest edition. So it matters which edition of book you take. The rule is same, but there are a lot of upgradations and additions came in the later stage. Try to find the book that suits you, the very latest and the language. So my approach is I went to a library and found the latest one. I took it for a month. Then I read through one time. And the important step, you need to be doing the practical driving parallel to your theory improvements. Why? When you read the theory, you can understand and you can by heart a lot of them. But when you're practicing it while driving, you will understand why the rule and how to apply. So this is the best lessons. So that way you can memorize and you will overlearn. Without you focusing much on the rule how to apply, it should be an automatic process. The rule and the behavior in traffic should happen automatically. It will improve both your learning and driving. So that's a good approach for theory preparations. You need to book the time. The situation change every time. Earlier days, the knowledge test has a validity period of 4 months, and due to Corona time, it been increased to 6 months. The date you pass the examination, it is valid for 6 months to complete the practical test. I think nowadays it's again changed back to 4 months. Please check it, time to time there will be update, but now it is again back to 4 months. Once you clear the theory test, you have 4 months to complete the practical test. If you didn't complete within that 4 month time, you need to repeat. You need to take the theory and the practical again. To book theory test, it will be done through trafikverket.se. Now there is a new recommendation came from Trafikverket itself. It is a bit hard to get a time slot for practical driving test. So better if you book together. So if you are going through a traffic school, check with them, they will book. That means in the practical test, you will be driving with their car. Otherwise, if you book yourself, you will be driving with Trafikverket's car. With the theory, now the option, if you are booking yourself, you can book both together. Otherwise, just ask the traffic school, they will book the theory and practical test for you. This will cost 325 crowns for Trafikverket and some additional charge for the traffic school if you are booking through them. When you go for theory test, the first thing is you will be photographed. You need to give your photograph and a signature at the premise. There will be a kiosk, you just need to go there and take your photograph by logging with your personal number. After completing the theory test, you will know the result that time itself. For theory test, you will be having 70 questions and 50 minutes. Some weird conditions are there, like out of 70 questions, the system will automatically remove 5 questions at the end of the exam, and it will be evaluated in 65, and you need to have 52 correct answers. And this test will be mostly covered on how the behavior, rules, eco-friendly, and the maneuvering, all the things you learn from the theory book. The theory test and the practical test you can book through trafikverket.se, and you can handle all the payments over there. Even if you are going through the traffic school, you might need to pay the some amount in the trafikverket.se. So payment and everything can be handled and viewed over there. And the next and important step is driving practical test. As soon as you completed theory test, you are eligible to take practical test. With the traffic school or by yourself, if you find a place, as soon as you book your practical test, it's always good to familiarize the area where you are going to drive. Even if you drive yourself with private lessons or with the traffic school, go to that area, get around. Then you know the major points. If there is the roundabout, there is a turn, there is a one-way, how to park, parking slots. So lot of information you will gather when you familiarize the place. That's really important to know. Cars are 2 types mainly, manual or automatic. If you are riding a manual, or if you get a manual driving license, you can drive the automatic one, but not the other way. Like if you are getting an automatic driver's license, you cannot drive manual one. But nowadays everything is very hybrid and automatic. So in the new generation world, how important it is to get a manual one, it's up to you. But I have taken automatic. It's a bit more easy. Even if you want to get a manual later, you can just take the test. So it's up to you whether you want to take automatic or manual at the first place. The driving test will be around 30 to 40 minutes. As soon as you got the slot, start practicing, and on that day you go to Trafikverket, wherever the location, reach there 10-20 minutes before. You don't have to do really anything over there, you can just go and wait. As soon as the time arrives, the instructor will come to you, the examiner will come to you. You need to make a signature over there. For the practical test, how is the evaluations or how is the examination conducted? The instructor will clearly tell you how they are going to evaluate. Test will be 30 to 40 minutes driving. Instructor initially may ask you to do a safety check or a sacrifice control about the car. So you can start with applying the brake pedal and seeing whether the brake is being applied or not. You cannot do the both at the same time. Even you can ask the instructor to can you check the brake light behind and check the seat belt. just pull it off and see it locks properly. Horn, you may not be using during the driving, but just to make sure the horn is working, you can honk one time. Then also he may ask to open the bonnet and identify stuff like engine oil, coolant, window washer fluid, and like that. You just need to explain what are the things or how you can see the engine oil, dipstick and all. It's not necessary that he asks everything, but may you start with the safety check inside, seat arrangement, brake and everything. Then he may say, okay, we are good to go. So safety check is one important thing. As soon as we are ready, he may say we can start. Maybe the instructor give you only the directions, but he will be very clear about that. He will tell you as soon as you get out of the Trafikverket premises, you might not be knowing what speed limit the road will be on or what is the condition of the road and all. The instructor may tell you that the road you are entering to will be 30 or 50 km speed. So that way they will help. And one thing to note, the instructors usually won't trick you. They will be straightforward, telling you go to this direction, go to this location, go to this road number. They will give the right instructions. You can just follow or try to follow it. They may say like go to Södertälje Centrum or go to hospital or go to Stockholm. Like there will be instructions on the road, you can see it and they know it, so they will tell you in advance, okay, we will be taking a next right turn or we want to take a next left turn. They will tell you before you want to do this. And main thing to note, you can do mistakes, and even if you do one mistake, if it is not very dangerous and if it is not repetitive, you please continue driving. Don't think that okay, I did that mistake, I did a speed a bit over what was said there, so I failed. Don't lose the confidence. Until the instructor says to stop you, don't stop, continue driving. If they didn't say anything, go straight, otherwise they will give you the right instructions. The important things to note are speed limits. If it is a 30 km road, never go above. 30 means 28, it's never be 30. And 40 means 39, 40, kind of like plus or minus you can add. But to be safer, please always speed below 1 or 2, less is good. 50 is 49 and 60 is 59. So you keep like that, try not to go over the speed limit. Even if 2 or 3 less, it's fine, don't go over. That's one important thing to note. Even if you cross for a couple of seconds, it's okay, you can come down, don't lose the confidence. That's the very important aspects. If there are more activities happening around, that means kids are passing the school time and all, try to be very much slow and adjust to the traffic situation. Give importance to the lane change or speed limit, the instructions to follow, and the reading ability to traffic signs, noticing everything far before it happens. If you want to change a lane, keep the same speed, don't go much below the speed limit, then maybe you may be blocking behind. Check behind, check the blind spots, then indicate and move over. During the driving test, it's very important about your capacity or your ability to read the traffic informations like the traffic sign, instructions, speed limit. You need to be very attentive to or very cautious about what's happening in the road, and you definitely need to adapt the traffic situations. And now you know that how the driving test is being conducted and how well you should be prepared. So let's talk about my driving license taking experience. I've been in Sweden for quite some time now, almost 7 years. One thing I could have done, as soon as I come to Sweden, I could have driven with Indian driving license for a year. I could get an experience by driving here. I didn't do that. I didn't think about taking a driving license initial days, so I didn't do that. That's one thing everyone can try if you have another license from any other country and you've been here. I missed that chance. As soon as I decided to take a driving license, I started my driving license preparations. It needed a hell lot of preparation and dedications. As we see in all other steps, I have gone through all of the procedures, started preparing for theory test, and I failed for the first attempt theory. And in August 2021, with the second attempt, I could clear the theory test. As I mentioned in earlier steps, I took the book from library and read through one time, practiced it with the sessions, then again read it. I have used many applications like a Trafikverket. I purchased theory tests from Körkort online and also from Trafikverket. These both applications were really helpful. There are many other applications like Eyesight and my Körkort. Lot of applications you can see it. I really recommend Trafikverket and Körkort online. Some number of questions are free to check it out. So please try it out and then you feel or evaluate yourself and purchase a subscription as you need it. After completing the theory, I was concentrating for the practical test. I went to a couple of traffic schools. The initial one I went to Hallonbergen Traffic School. The guy was really nice, but the problem, they have only manual at that time and only one English speaking trainer. I started practicing with the manual, and after a couple of lessons I thought maybe it's good to change to some other traffic school and get it automated. The second traffic school I went to, Stockholm Store Traffic School in Resne. That trainer is also very nice. It was a bit hard to find a proper time that suits my timing and the instructor timing. So I was driving in the early morning sessions with them. They helped me to book the first driving test at Sollentuna. Unfortunately, I failed with the major mistakes. On a 60-kilometer road, a bus just came into a stagnant position in front of me and I was driving in the speed of 45. I didn't apply much brake. I was continuing the same speed, then the instructor applied brake and he said like you should have reduced the speed. Even though it just came to a stagnant position, you should be prepared to brake, someone else can jump in front of the bus. You need to prepare to brake or reduce the speed. So I didn't do that, that was a major mistake. He also gave a couple of other suggestions like seek early and act or be prepared to act very early and so on. Inform other traffic users very before, like giving signals much early, prepare to brake or brake in red signals very early. Suggestions but failed because of the major mistakes. That was the first attempt. Two other attempts were in Järfälla. I have taken a couple of lessons with the scholar. Then the instructor said, now you are ready to go for a test. Initially, the driving went well. I was with a bit overconfident and both again failed with major mistakes. It's a bit confusing sometimes because there are a lot of constructions happening everywhere in Stockholm and around area. In one of the attempts, I didn't see a giveaway sign. I was entering to a major road, a very small major road. As I said, some construction was happening and there was some side blocks. Still, I didn't see the giveaway sign and I was entering a major road. There was a car coming. I actually literally entered. Then the examiner pushed the brake. I missed the giveaway sign and I went into the major road. Before entering, the examiner put the brake. So it was a major mistake and they said like, this is the only one mistake in that entire driving lessons and this is like, it's a major mistake so I cannot let you go. Another major mistake happened in one of the attempts in Järfälla was, examiner asked to take a reverse around the corner. I did the reverse around the corner but I was about to go out of the road. Like while turning backwards, I was about to turn into the grass area out of the road. Then examiner applied the brake and said like, now you see it's a grass, maybe we don't know what was there. It may be a hole, we don't know, so should be on the road. I'm almost about to go out of the road, then he applied the brake. So that was said to be a major mistake. Also a couple of other mistakes like I put signals very late. And even though I have seen a red signal, I was too late to push the brake. That means it was a sudden brake happening at signals. And in one or two places, I have been a bit over speed. So there are a couple of other small mistakes. Then he said like you repeatedly did some of the mistakes. So she cannot let me go. That was 2 times in Järfälla. If you fail for first time, you have a priority to get a slot in the next time. Statistics says that many people fail in first attempt. They have a very high chance to success in second attempt. So there is a priority for second attempt people. If you fail in the second time, it's very hard to get another slot. Traffic school may get a bit early, but still it's very hard to get in the same area, same location for you to get another one. In between, I was traveling to my home country and my theory test was about to expire. It was about to expire my 6-month time. Then I found a slot 2 days before my theory test expiry. It was a bit far, Umayu. It was a weekend coming and the test was on Monday. So I took the weekend and went to Umayu, stayed over there. Then I took the test on Monday morning. It was on February with the -10 degree. It didn't go well as well. Couple of mistakes there, like in one-way road, I want to turn left, but I was keeping in the middle and did the wrong parallel parking. I was a bit scared to parallel park towards the edge because it was snow. I don't know whether I'm going to hit the curb or not. Then I parked a bit out. Still I had a chance to adjust parallel parking, but I didn't do. I just said, okay, I'm completed. And she said, okay, then take out. You will go to the next location. And there was another major mistake I did. It was a green signal. I want to turn left. There was oncoming traffic and I was turning a bit. Even though it's a green signal, we have to give way for oncoming vehicle. I was turning a bit and I was preparing for braking after turning. Before I brake, she braked. Then said like, you should brake early. Otherwise you are turning your wheel, then braking, that's not safer. You need to brake early and give way to all oncoming vehicles. So this was a major mistake and failed in that attempt as well. But that was the end of first theory validity. After 4 failed attempts and expired theory, I put a pause. I didn't feel much comfortable with the winter conditions, so I thought like I will try in the summer. Then I found Fruangen's Bilskola. Many people suggested Fruangen's Bilskola because of how they work and support everyone who goes there. Lango, the guy who runs Fruangen's Bilskola, is really supportive and kind enough, and he listened to every student. That's what I felt. Fruangen's Bilskola given me confidence, and they also suggested like you just clear the theory test and we will get you the driving license. They were really supportive. Then I started my second term of driving license in summer 2022. Since I already covered theory portions before, it was easy to pass at the first attempt. I got first driving test location at Södertälje. I started driving with the Fruangen's Bilskola there, mostly double lessons. It was a bit far from Södertälje. I had to go to Fruangen, then to Södertälje. From Fruangen to Södertälje, it took around 30 minutes to drive, and practicing at the Södertälje Centrum area and then coming back. So I took a lot of double lessons at the Södertälje. Everything felt really good and much confidence. Then I went for the first test in Södertälje and I failed again. This time there was no much major reasons, but the examiner clearly mentioned there was 2 instincts. One, I was changing the line. I went much slower than expected and I literally blocked vehicles behind me, and that was a mistake I did. Changing line, I had to put more focus. Also seeking early means some of the speed limit I went over a bit. Even though there is no pedestrians, I was braking unnecessarily a bit over there. Couple of other suggestions gave. Nothing was very major mistakes, but small mistakes add up together. Then I failed in the first attempt in Södertälje. Again, I continued with my studies and took a couple of double lessons. After that, I got my second slot at Södertälje again. From my point of view, it went really well. I was enjoying, and the examiner asked me to do parallel parking, reverse parking, forward parking, and go to different locations. So a lot of activities done during the test. I felt really positive. Felt the examiner was really happy during the drive because the way she talked and gave the instructions, everything. But unfortunately, at the end, I failed again. There were no major mistakes. There are a couple of minor mistakes, and the examiner suggested to do check on changing lines, the speed controls, then overtaking. Also, a couple of other small corrections he suggested. This was the second attempt in the second turn. This was the 6th attempt in total. My confidence went a bit low and I was double-minded. Is it my cup of tea? Should I go for it or no? So it was kind of confusing for me, but the person from the Fruangen Bilskola, he really supported and said like, you are going to get it. We will do small different lessons with the different people, then see what you exactly need to improve from different perspectives, then we'll work on that. Since I failed a couple of times, it's very hard to get a slot nearby Stockholm. They found me a slot in shopping. It's 1 hour drive from Stockholm. So the plan was from here we start a bit early and we drive 1 hour and practice the surroundings a bit, get familiarized as much as possible, then go for the test on the same day. On that day it was a bit raining. We went to end shopping. I did the test over there. Before test I just familiarized the area by driving through and see what are the signals, where should be the major turns. Getting around the end shopping area was fun. After that went to the test. Test went really well. Here also I was doing parallel parking, forward parking, reverse parking and going through different roundabouts. So lot of activities done in the practical test. The examiner was happy. He was very happy to say that I passed the driving test and I am so gladful to hear that. It was a great moment after 6 failed attempts when I passed on the 7th attempt. Also he gave some suggestions in front of my instructor that while changing line and while indicating and all, you can be a bit more cautious, but you are doing right, but you can be a bit more cautious about changing line, giving signals and seeking early. In most of the lessons and practical test and everywhere I hear seek early and communication is the best key in traffic. Traffic scenarios are like a lot of information to gather at one time, and how well you adapt, how well you seek early, how advanced you communicate with other traffic users. Overall, it's a complex scenario. These all are the main ability capacity you to have. And my recommendation or my suggestions to all of you, keep a good confidence, practice, 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 and practice make everything perfect. So you should drive more and more in the same area where you want to take the test, or if you are very passionate about driving and you already have a license and that valid for some time at least in Sweden, take car rental and drive around so you will get experience how the Swedish driving situations. Read and gain a lot of knowledge about the traffic rules. Understand the traffic rules and try to apply them as much as possible. Traffic rules and traffic behaviors are very much important. Sometimes the rule may not be applied, but traffic behaviors matter more. So try to adapt and understand the situation and act accordingly. So friends, this is what I want to share with you all. My experience during my driving license term. I failed 6 times, but success came after. Don't lose the hope. Be safe and drive your best. The success will come to you. Practice well. I hope everyone who seeks for driving license will get it as early as possible. Have a wonderful safe driving. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are watching my channel for the first time, please subscribe and support. If you like the video, please comment your feedback, like and share to your friends. Thanks for watching narasLifeLog.